up, everyone? My name is Angie Chavangi. You are watching Pick Me Up. Worry weighs us down, but a cheerful word picks us up. And today I have a cheerful word to pick you up. So this is about the story of Jesus and his disciples. When Jesus was from preaching to a great crowd, Mark chapter 4 verse 35 says, he climbed onto a boat and told the disciples, why don't we cross over to the other side? And while they were crossing over to the other side, Jesus took a pillow and rested, and he slept, he fell asleep. And so while he was asleep and they were going over to the other side, a great storm arose, a great wind arose. Doesn't that feel like this season, this coronavirus season, when it feels like a great wind or a great storm that has arisen all over the world? Man, that storm rocked the disciples' boat. The waves are so strong that water was entering into the boat, and the disciples were trying to fetch water out of the boat. And that just feels like this season. The world has literally been rocked by coronavirus. We are all trying to survive. Aren't we like those disciples trying to fetch water out of the boat, trying to survive, washing our hands, covering our faces, not touching our faces, keeping social distance, not going to crowded places? It's a huge change, a huge adjustment. We are house. That's how it feels like this season of coronavirus. The Bible says that as they were trying to fetch water, trying to survive, the disciples were full of fear. They were anxious. They were worried. They thought they were going to die. And doesn't that feel like it is now? There's a lot of desperation and hopelessness. Oh, but the good news about this story is that Jesus was in the boat. Whether Jesus was awake or asleep, he was in the boat, and that's the best news ever. And so one of the disciples went and shook Jesus up and asked him, Lord, don't you care that we are dying? And so Jesus woke up and he spoke. Jesus spoke to the wind and the wave, and he rebuked them and told them, be quiet, be still. Hey, the best news is to have Jesus in your boat. He is able to silence the chaos, to silence the trouble, to silence the distress, to take away the worry, to give you peace, just like he spoke to the wind and the waves. And you know what? As soon as Jesus spoke, it was all quiet. It's as though nothing had happened. And I pray that you will ask Jesus to silence the wind, the wave, the troubles, the fear, the anxiety, the depression, and so that you can find peace and rest in him. Of Psalm 46, and it says, surrender your anxieties to God. Be silent and stop your striving, and you will see that I am God. Other version says, be still and know that I am God. Would you be still and know that he is God? How can we find stillness? How can we find peace? How can we find that quietness in the midst of this chaos? We need to believe in God. We need to have Jesus in our boat. Then we need to pray, plead, cry out to him like the disciples. In the book of Psalms, there are so many Psalms that David wrote, and he was crying out to God out of panic, out of frustration, out of worry, out of fear, out of anxiety. And I don't think there's anything wrong with us crying out to God when we are in that place of fear or distraught. God hears our cries and he answers our prayers. So let's have Jesus in our boat. And if you don't have Jesus in your boat, invite him into your heart. Let him come into your heart and let him make a difference in your life. And then cry out to him and tell him, Lord, I need you to take this worry and this anxiety away. I need you to take this panic. I need you to take every burden, every care, every concern away from me. And he will answer your prayers. And you know what? Whether the situation changes, whether we are here, I don't know how long we are here for this corona season or whatever season you're going through, God can give you peace in the midst of that storm, in the midst of that chaos. I pray that this video has blessed your heart. And if it has, please give a thumbs up, share, subscribe, put a comment, tell us how you're doing, and tell us how this has blessed you. God bless you. Goodbye.